Hello to all you basketball lovers and hoop heads. Something has changed to the five of you who watch these videos consistently. I now have face cam, apparently. So welcome to that experience. It's a bit rough. The angle is going to be awful like every time. It's going to change every video. And I apologize in advance. But it's here now. We've made the revolution. We've made the change. So we're going to see how it goes. We're going to see how it feels with this one. Let me know how you feel about it. If you like it, hate it, who knows. But yeah, here's my face to anybody who doesn't know. Let's go ahead and jump into our video, right? Today, if you couldn't tell from the video, we are unfortunately talking about Nico Harrison, and I have conveniently clickbaited all of you into clicking on this video by saying that we're going to talk about the game that got Nico Harrison fired. But we all know it wasn't just one game that got him fired, right? But the reason I want to make this video is to talk about the last game that the Mavericks played before Nico got fired. Why we need to demonstrate on the court why what Nico did was such a heinous decision to trade Luka Doncic. We all know it was, right? But let's go through the basketball reasons why. Let's talk about why the team he built to quote unquote win a championship was obviously never going to. And even with the blessing that is Cooper Flagg on their team now, they were just completely going to piss away this season anyways. So we're going to look at that last game. We're going to use it as a way to evaluate what the Mavericks were. We're going to talk through some game footage. This might mark kind of a turning point in the page. I think I want to make some more short form, just 10-minute style videos where we talk about contemporary basketball stuff. When we get to the off season, we can do more deep dive-y kind of content. We'll see. But I want to talk more basketball that's happening now. So let's go ahead and dive into it. We're going to start with the Mavericks offense. One of the reasons I wanted to make this video is obviously Nico Harrison got fired, but another thing that that we've all been noticing throughout the season is that point guards and table setters, people who can organize an offense, are supremely needed in the NBA in order to be successful, and it's also very hard to do that. Cooper Flagg is a guy that I believe has the capability at some point of organizing an offense, at least in spurts, in certain lineups at certain times of the game. He's a guy that can do it. He has the IQ to do it, the capability to do so, but it's very difficult to do so at an elite level and to do it all the time. So we need to stress the importance of point guards. And obviously Kyrie got hurt. That's very unfortunate. This team would look different if he was here, but it's not just enough to just have a point guard like D'Angelo Russell, which we're going to get into more in this video. You need to have somebody who can organize an offense, and just having a placeholder, even just only one. I remember some people in the offseason were talking about D'Angelo Russell coming in. It's he'll be a placeholder point guard until Kyrie gets around. And I'm sitting here, I'm what are we talking about? What have we seen from D'Angelo Russell over the past how many seasons that shows that he can't be a high level table setting guard in the NBA, let alone the only one on the team? You know what I mean? So we're going to talk about what it means to have a guard that can initiate offense, can control offensive flow, what that looks like, and why it's so necessary. Now, within this game, if you didn't pay attention, the Mavericks built, I think it was a 13-point lead at most in this game. They built a 13-point lead over the Bucks that during the fourth quarter they gave away, and then they eventually lost this game. The way they built that third quarter lead was primarily by getting offensive opportunities in transition. And while transition offense can be highly advantageous, can be very efficient, a lot of times it's just you can't always rely on transition offense to generate everything for you. You can also have a period of tough bucket getting, such as this last play, which I think is actually a great starting off point for talking about why playmaking is so important. A big thing with the Mavericks that you see in some of these other teams that are lacking guards this season is that oftentimes if the first action doesn't generate an open shot, they don't know what to do. So they just panic. All of a sudden we end up with a bad shot. Here is kind of exemplary of this. We just pass the ball into the middle here. Like, Max Christie moves to the corner. This guy who's one of their two-way centers, I can't really remember his name, is just kind of hanging out here on the baseline. But nobody does anything. And then Najee Marshall drives towards that center initially, has to stop, turns around, bumps. He's going to fade and make this shot. But, like, I don't know if that's a great shot. If you had a slightly better defender than AJ Green in there, like, I'm not sure that's going in. That's not reliably good offense. There was no movement. There was nothing happening on that play. Here's another play. This is coming out of transition. So we don't have a set defense here. We have a high pick and roll. That's about it. Max Christie bringing the ball up the floor. He's able to kind of get downhill, even though Miles Turner should have been in better position to defend him there. That's actually a decent play from Max Christie to recognize that Miles had his hands down and attack the basket with the force he did there. But again, like, generating an easy bucket like that to where there was no like help defense set in transition. Again, that's not a hard thing to do per se. A lot of teams do it very well, but doing it consistently all the time is the only way you generate good offense. It's not a good plan. Another example of where the Mavericks just kind of have one offensive action on this play, and that's about it. Cooper Flag coming up to set the screen. Najee Marshall, they get the switch that they wanted, and Coop kind of has a smaller guy and Gary Trent Jr. on him. He's going to kind of try to work him down. He spins off of him. Miles comes over for the help defense, and then Coop's just not that level of playmaker. There's no offside action happening to help free up a shooter possibly. They're just standing still. So Coop kind of has no choice. He pump fakes on that and then kind of goes up with a shot that gets just knocked out of there because Miles is completely ready for it. And it's just like nothing happens. Like, that's a pretty bad play from Coop, and he's a rookie. It's okay. He's supposed to do that. He shouldn't expect it to be like the only creator on the floor. Here the Mavericks are going to get a nice easy three in transition. Again, one of the best ways that they scored in this quarter and helped build that lead. Bad transition D from the Bucks there. No one checked Max Christie. It's the best three-point shooter on that team. You got to put a body on him. Now, the Bucks do have Brandon Williams on their roster, who I actually like quite a bit. Me and Shaler both are pretty big fans of him, and he makes like not a decent play here. We got a screen and roll with Coop. Again, he gets an advantage, so he gets downhill. We have, I'm not sure really why Kuzma is coming over to contain this, but like Brandon Williams recognizing like I got three guys' attention on me, and he sees Najee wide open here in the corner, makes the nice pass out. Not a great pass, but Najee misses that shot. That's okay, but like that's not bad offense. That's not bad offense per se, but Brandon Williams is basically the only decent point guard on this roster. He's the only one that can make that play. And boy howdy, like if you want an example of why D'Angelo Russell is not that guy that you want, we've got like kind of this horns action coming up here. We got the double screen. He gets his pick. He goes left, gets the switch from Bobby Portis. He pulls it back out. Dances with him, crossover. We're going to drive left. Hezzy, pull back. Didn't create any space. Has created nothing. No help defense whatsoever. And then he's just going to put this shot up that misses. That's just an incredibly poor offensive possession. Yet another transition opportunity here. Coop's got the ball bringing this up. This is an excellent example of his, versatility in the future. A guy at his size who's this fluid, who basically gets through three defenders here is really impressive. This is actually a nice play from him. Nice spin to open up space, get downhill, and then really soft touch to finish over Miles Turner. Good play, but again, in transition against not a set defense. Here's another example of not having people that know how to run pick and rolls. Like we've got, for some reason, Daniel Gafford is coming up to set high screen and roll for Caleb Martin as the ball handler for some reason, and all we get out of this is, like, there are definitely point guards that could make this pass right here. That could make this pass. And then Gafford hits this, bada bing, bada boom, open three in the corner. Instead of that, which would be a good possession, we get this. What are we doing, man? What are we doing? What are we doing? Why is Caleb Martin taking that shot? Another great possession here. Caleb Martin does a nice job of kind of getting all the way to the rim. That's part of it, but he's well contested here by Giannis Antetokounmpo. And then he draws. Daniel Gafford does a decent job of like getting to this ball. He tries to make this pocket pass. That's a difficult pass to make for sure, but not a good pass, a decent pass option, but like not a good pass, if that makes sense. Daniel Gafford kind of bumbles this ball. He tries to put it up, complete air ball. Caleb Martin gets the rebound, throws it back out to D'Lo, who's got 3 seconds on the clock, and of course that means we should pull up from 30 damn feet. What are we doing, man? And this is going to be a clanker. Bop. Yeah, bad offense, man. Again, and they built this lead in the third, again, off of largely transition opportunities. So shout out to them, but it wasn't sustainable. They didn't build this lead in a sustainable fashion. And it just, in a roster that is not only lacking a point guard, a single one, is lacking any playmaking from any position, really. So they're going to struggle in this half-court setting. I don't even really want to go over the fourth quarter offense too much. I think that third quarter was just enough. We can move on to their defense, which, if you don't remember, Mr. Nico Harrison himself said defense wins championships. So let's see the defensive juggernaut that he has created here. Did want to give a quick shout out to this play from Coop. We got 30 seconds left in the game. The Bucks are up by 1, so crucial possession here. And Coop makes a really nice play. Does that beautiful spin move to free himself up. He's got a wide open pass to rim, but one giant former defensive player of the year standing in his way. And what does he do? Goes straight into him, absorbs the contact super well, and has the touch to finish that. I think that's probably like the best play that Coop has made in his young career. Really, really encouraging moment from him. So, like I said, we're going to transition to talking about their defense just real quick because, Mr. Nico Harrison said that the reason he traded Luka freaking Doncic is because defenses win championships, and, you can't build a good defense around Luka. The Mavs certainly weren't in the year they went on a finals run. They certainly weren't one of the better second half of the season team defenses. They definitely weren't very good at all. But this team, this roster, defensive juggernauts. Let's watch this possession here and show me the defensive juggernauts, right? So I believe this is Ryan Rollins getting the ball on the wing here. For some reason, D'Lo's like, I guess I'll just lazily go trap and double team him. But if you're gonna double team, if you're gonna trap, why are we giving angles to drivers? Daniel Gafford is poorly positioned here and gives him an angle to the bucket, which what does he use? Look at this. Look, he's got an angle to the rim. Why aren't you turned the other way? What is this trap? I don't understand. You give him a driving angle. He does a little carryover over you and gets to the rim, gets an easy layup. Like, what are we doing at all? Awful defense. You'd never guess it, but we got some more poor defense from the Dallas Mavericks here, which, again, remember, Nico went out, got the personnel he thought he could build a good defense around. Unfortunately, we have washed Klay Thompson. Giannis is bringing over Caleb Martin, who's defending him, to set a screen on Klay Thompson to get this switch. Klay just absolutely dies on this screen, switches onto Giannis. That's a bad mismatch down here in the post. So what happens? PJ Washington is forced to leak over and provide some help defense. But what does that do? Kyle Kuzma is wide open, and this is an easy 3. The Bucks didn't even really have to do anything. They had to do like one action. Just a simple screen and roll. Simple screen and roll, get the switch, pass to the wide open wing shooter. I don't know what we're doing, man. There was not even like a scram switch. Like, that's probably what should have happened, is PJ should have like scram switched with Klay and let Klay go guard Kuzma. They probably could have confused that possession a little bit, given some more help from the right side of the court, the weak side, and prevented that. But no, we get a soft switch with Klay Thompson on Giannis Antetokounmpo, which leads to a wide open 3. I will say there are quite a few poor defensive possessions in this quarter that are because of their, I don't know if he's a rookie, but their two-way center that they were playing a lot. Excuse me, I'm not remembering his name right here. It's number 30. a lot of poor defensive possessions in this quarter. Like the reason the Bucks got back into this game was kind of because of him. So I don't levy a ton of that on him. He's a younger guy. He's a 2A. He's not expected to like anchor a defense. But again, it just shows you like how short and weak this rotation is as far as like a defensive monster goes. I don't know if this is necessarily a Mavs problem as much as it's just Giannis is a fucking monster. But look at the way he just spins so easily off of PJ Washington and then dunks over Coop there. What a Jesus, man. What an absolute anomaly of a human being. Giannis rules, but that wasn't necessarily the Mavs' fault. He does that to everybody, but they sure as hell didn't do much to stop it. Three, two, one. Another thing with the Mavericks is that they were supposed to be huge, right? They were one of these teams that was going to go like double big all the time. They were going to go like super big with Coop at the 3 or Coop at the 2 or whatever, and then you're starting like AD and Daniel Gafford. Like that's a massive starting 5, and you expect with a team that big like the Houston Rockets, they are an excellent rebounding team, but not the case with our Mavericks here. No. Never mind the fact that Kyle Kuzma gets a nice rip through and just attacks this not really closeout for PJ Washington. Gets by him. Nice defense from the rookie here. Help defense to come block this shot off the rim. But anybody think about putting a body on Giannis? Not really. He just tips that ball away. We're all just looking and watching as this guy rips the ball from our hands and dunks it on our foreheads. Now, this is not quantifiable, but this play is the epitome of a bad vibes team. This is just, this is when you can tell a team's giving up hope. Honestly, right here, like, not bad defense from Daniel Gafford. He gets a really good shot contest on this mid-range jumper from Giannis. Like, pretty ill-advised. Clanks off the back of the rim, but, boy, did anybody think about rebounding this? Daniel Gafford is already running down the other side of the court. He saw, like, he didn't even think about rebounding this ball. He's already almost to the half-court line in his mind. And, boy, Giannis should have finished that. In all reality, like 99 times out of 100, he finishes that. So it's whatever. That should have been 2 points on the board. But I just, like, that's a bad vibes play. How does Giannis get this rebound? I don't really understand. I understand that's a long rebound. Somebody needs to put a body on somebody. Like, please, for the love of God, why are we just walking away as we watch it bounce off the rim? What are we doing, man? And then no one even attempts, by the way, sorry. No one even attempts to like step in and stop him. Like they all just watch him grab the board and then they all just watch him run at the rim. Nobody even tries to touch him. What are we doing? What are we doing? In a shocking turn of events, I'm actually going to show you some decent defense, but this is only from one individual on the Mavericks. We got an initial screen and roll action with Ryan Rollins and Bobby Portis Jr. I don't know what Najee Marshall is doing here. I don't know what he's doing. He's not defending Bobby Portis Jr. He's not containing this drive. He has no plans on switching. I don't know what he's doing. He's just standing here. And then watch. Ryan Rollins is just going to blow past him. And he's just going to point. He's like, hey, could somebody cover that? Like, hey, by the way, like, I might have goofed. Could somebody cover this real quick? And then Max Christie comes over, has really great verticality and really affects that shot. Like, great defense from Max Christie there. Who I don't know, has Max Christie been their best player this season? He looks like the only guy on the court sometimes that really gives a damn, and he's the only guy with like who can create some offense by being a good shooter and gives an effort on defense at times. So shout out Max Christie, man. Shout out to my guy, Max Christie, once again. Makes a nice defensive play here in a really crucial moment. They have the trap on the baseline, force the ball out of Giannis's hands. He's going to make this little pass underneath to Bobby Portis Jr., who's then going to swing it to Kyle Kuzma, who's going to go up for this lay. And Max Christie does a great job blocking the shit out of that shot. Definitely had a chance of going up over PJ Washington there. So really nice play from Max Christie. Again, shout out to him. Well, I think I'm just about done ragging on the Mavericks for this episode. I feel bad for their fans, man. Like, they were on top of the world 18 months ago, and now everything's just completely falling apart in the way that they can't imagine. But you should be thankful you got Cooper Flag. The Mavericks need to do their best to just be bad for the rest of the season, honestly, and just try to pair Cooper with another guy from this 2026 class. It's looking real promising so far. So just be bad. Thank the gods that you got Cooper Flag. Just build around him. Try to move off AD. Try to move off Kyrie. I hope that is coming in the future for them. Shout out Nico Harrison for making some of the worst executive moves in the history of all sports, honestly. Maybe the single worst move in all of sports, and building a team that truly is awful and does not make any sense. But like I said, I'm done ragging on him for this episode. I hopefully like highlighted some things to you. Again, like we're going to talk more about this as the season goes on, that like table setting, playmakers, people who can guide an offense are just invaluable, and you can never have too many of them. Like ask OKC, you can never have enough guys who know how to make a play. So just carry that philosophy forward with you. Let me know if you kind of like this style of content more. Like I said, I think it's going to move more in this direction where we break down tape more exclusively and not just yap over highlight reels. So thank you so much for watching. If you got to this point in the video, as always, share with your friends, follow the page, like, do whatever. I don't give a shit. You don't have to if you don't want to. But if you'd like to, I'd love to have you here. As always, shout out to people who love basketball. I am one of you. You are one of me. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Okay, bye.